Adventure Time Fiona and Cake is an upcoming 10-episode series that is due to release in the fall of 2023, at least according to a Canadian media conglomerate. For those unaware, this new series is not purely a gender-bent spin-off, because Simon Petrikov of the series proper will continue his character arc alongside Fiona and Cake. A description of the series published back in 2021 stated the trio will embark on a multiverse-hopping adventure and journey of self-discovery. All the while, a powerful new antagonist, determined to track them down and erase them from existence, lurks in the shadows. I should also mention there's gonna be a world premiere of, I assume, the first episode at San Diego Comic-Con, and it's happening like the day after this upload will go public, I think? I started cobbling this video together before the SDCC announcement even occurred, I swear. For the record, I am not attending Comic-Con, and I plan to avoid spoilers after they inevitably circulate on the net. So please do not post spoilers in the comment section of this video once they're out there. Just don't be a dillweed. So, those of you who have watched my catalog of Adventure Time videos will probably know that I've never cared much for Adventure Time's gender-bent episodes throughout the show's run. At best, I've viewed them as a mildly amusing detour with a few great jokes here and there, most of which happened outside the fanfiction bits, in my opinion.
Wildberry, don't pretend. I know you like the silver foxes.
I will admit that when I rewatch Adventure Time, I do tend to skip the Fiona and Cake episodes more often than not. But all that being said, my outlook for the Fiona and Cake series isn't glum or anything, because 10 episodes is a lot to work with. I'm hoping this format provides plenty of time to flesh out and further differentiate Fiona and Cake from their prime counterparts. And it would be really sweet if I could come away actually caring about the alternate land of Ooh Fiona and Cake come from. Something that I never did experience during the main show. Traversing dimensions with Simon Petrikov, though, that's something I'm really excited about. Simon hasn't had all that much screen time overall. His appearances in Obsidian were brief but great fun, and I eagerly await more post-Ice King Petrikov shenanigans.
What? This is how I cope!
Tom Kenny, Simon's voice actor, allegedly had his most emotional recording session for the Fiona and Cake series, so if that's accurate, we probably have a bunch of laughs and a cosmic buttload of heartbreak ahead of us. When the Distant Land special Obsidian came out, there was some discussion on whether Simon was immortal after the intervention of Gold Betty. After Together Again, Simon wasn't present in any of the Dead Worlds, so the idea that Betty's wish granted him eternal life seemed to have more credence. But then the promo banner for the Fiona and Cake series rolled out, and we saw that Simon had noticeably aged, suggesting he may have the lifespan of a mortal after all. This was when I first wondered if Simon ends up in a different universe altogether at the end of his life. What if he wasn't in the Dead Worlds that Classic Finn ventured through because he was in the Dead Worlds of a different universe entirely? This hypothetical tugged at my heartstrings because that would mean Simon would have essentially left Marceline behind yet again, even if Marcy was willing to support Simon fucking off into another dimension for reasons. This is assuming Simon even departed on his own terms. What if the dude was just whisked away without warning? Obviously, there's a lot of directions you could take this general idea, and there's a lot of sadness to be had there if you want to squeeze lime juice into wounds. Changing the subject, I want to briefly discuss the topic of multiverse fatigue, as multiple realities in entertainment media have been a big fad lately. Even outside superhero schlock, a plethora of recent media has utilized multiverse plotlines, and in my opinion, it's getting pretty goddamn saturated. As an aside, my favorite media using this concept in the past several years would probably be the film Everything Everywhere All at Once. No big surprise there to the folks who have seen it. Although, I should also mention that I have yet to see the second Spider-Verse movie. Anyway, Adventure Time has been dabbling with multiverses for a while now. The series laid its stake early when it comes to crossing over into wacky alternate realities, and characters have entered a new modality of existence on multiple occasions. I'm not too worried about multiverse fatigue affecting my enjoyment of the upcoming Fiona and Cake series, even though I am a bit burnt out on the whole concept in general at this point. Okay, so dude, what is the deal with that red laser beam from the episode Fiona and Cake and Fiona?
Where do your ideas come from?
They're beamed into my melon at night, same as everybody else. Next!
The mysterious signal that fills Ice King's head with images that fuel his fanfiction is, well, mysterious. So I feel like I may be grasping at straws with my speculations, but let's proceed nonetheless. If there are endless possibilities across all the universes out there, then could it be Ice King somehow honed in on one reality that closely matched his deepest desires, and he ended up acting as a sort of subconscious satellite dish that absorbs the events occurring in that universe while he sleeps?
What do you think, Finn? Can we pull back the veil of static and reach into the source of all being behind this curtain of patterns, this random pattern generator?
Framed that way, this reminds me a little bit of how Finn may have possibly opened a portal to a different universe in the episode Puhoi, due to the immeasurable amount of mental festering he placed himself under.
Finn, festering's always bad, man. There's no good kind of festering. Finn!
I've had a hypothesis that jumping between realities without proper portal magic might be what attracts Gulb due to the sheer level of chaos involved to achieve such feats, but I want to stress that I'm spitballing stray thoughts here. I may be getting too presumptive, but Ice King searching for Betty in the upcoming series seems really par for the course, so I have a hard time imagining Gulb Betty isn't related to the overarching plot in some way. It seems random to team up Simon with Fiona and Cake unless there was some cohesive interdimensional metaphorical ribbon tying everything together. The episode Fiona and Cake and Fiona felt lackluster and unnecessary to me at the time it came out, because it felt like the ending of the episode was a random lore drop that was heading nowhere, what with Adventure Time concluding and all. Now that we're getting a 10-episode series, though, this red beam has got to be some sort of jumping-off point for the interdimensional events that will follow, right? At the moment, I can't see Fiona and Cake and Fiona as anything other than a prologue to the Fiona and Cake series. Oh, and there's also the possibility that there's some intermediary system, entity, or person that is causing interdimensional signals and noise to penetrate universes in a manner like the red laser we see hit Ice King. Maybe this could be the new antagonist that stalks the main characters. The Lich claimed that he was
the last scholar of Golb.
But that was in the universe he was currently occupying. Maybe there's another scholar of Golb in another universe somewhere. I can see why such a, at the moment, hypothetical character might want to pursue Simon. He has a link to Betty, who's merged with Golb, and if this new antagonist wants to summon Golb or some other such foolishness, endangering Simon's life might just be a way to do it. Oh, and I nearly forgot, there's the fact that way back in season 7, Jake shoved a hand of the Lich into every single dimension out there, something which we have yet to see the repercussions of.
Mathematical.
Huh?
I'm still unsure why Jake thought that dumping a Lich hand into every world was mathematical. The Lich already, as a villain, appeared in Together Again, though, so, would we really get more Lichy rabble-rousing in the Fiona and Cake series? I feel like that might be a case of too many cooks in the kitchen. But, on the other hand, we do have 10 episodes to dine on, after all. One last topic before I go. I would like to discuss the outlook for Simon at the end of his adventures with Fiona and Cake. I am of the camp that thinks a cosmic tragedy, some Shakespearean star-crossed lovers on steroids type shit, is what is appropriate for the Simon and Betty plotline. I absolutely adored what happened to these characters in the series finale Come Along With Me. You can watch my review of that to hear more discussion on that subject if you want. But anyway, I am not declaring that a happy ending is automatically crap or anything like that. It's not impossible that I'll be enraptured by a happy ending where Simon and Betty's love somehow overcomes the chaos of existence, but it'll have to be one hell of a climax to win me over, as I'm a tough cookie when it comes to this subject. Alright. So those have been some of my musings and speculations on this upcoming special. Please post your thoughts in the comments on whether you'd prefer a tragic or joyful ending to Simon's character arc, and share any predictions or thoughts you may have about the mysterious red beam, Gold Betty, the Lich, or whatever else pertains to this special. To any viewers out there who are puzzled by the chronic series of hiatuses that this channel undergoes regularly, I am going to refer you to the outro segment for the first half of my Together Again review, where I give an overview of what's been going on. Nothing has really changed since then, so it's just easier to direct you there. Okay, as far as this channel goes, I have no idea what video will come next, or when, so expect the unexpected, I guess? Shoutouts to the patrons who have stuck with me despite how often my Patreon remains paused to account for all my hiatuses. See y'alls later. I'm going 4D, baby.